Alright, what's going on guys, Shmoon here, and this is going to be the first video that I'm actually talking in. You can tell by the title of this video that it's going to be my personal tips on fat loss and everything that I've just experienced throughout my weight loss journey. I'm not actually going to be getting into anything about muscular development, just want to go over my tips on fat loss and things that I picked up along the way to maybe help you do that same thing. So my credentials are that I literally went from this guy right here to this guy right here in a little bit under 8 months. So getting into the first thing, I'm sure you've heard it before, but you actually need to get into a caloric deficit to technically lose weight. I feel as though it's a very broad thing to say to people, and everybody just tells you, oh, get into a caloric deficit, caloric deficit. Really all that means is that you are burning more calories than you are taking in. And while that is true, I feel as though it's not the most important thing in the world to lose weight necessarily. Anybody can get into a caloric deficit and just eat such small amounts of food and say, oh, I'm losing weight, I'm losing weight. Really, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. So basically what you want to do is go on to any form of nutrition website and just look up calorie calculator, calorie deficit calculator, plug in your weight, your height, and everything else basically into it, and it'll tell you your deficit. Maybe for about like a week or two, try eating at that level of calories, and if it doesn't end up working, maybe go a little bit lower, maybe go a little bit higher, depending on how your weight is fluctuating. It really comes down to knowing your body and how you're feeling. Now the reason why I say that this is such a broad term is because actually, if you go into such a high calorie deficit, you're not gonna feel good, you're not gonna look good. I promise you, you're not going to be happy with your results. You're just going to be losing most of your muscle, and I know that people are like, oh, I don't care about muscle. I promise you that you care about losing your muscle and all of the work that you put into your body. One of the big things that I want to get into in terms of a calorie deficit is that you want to gravitate towards low calorie foods. Personally, I eat probably like 9 to 10 times a day just because I love eating. Who doesn't love eating? And I feel as though just saying calorie deficit is gonna force people to just eat less food, but really you don't need to do that. You just need to gravitate towards low calorie foods instead of these high calorie foods and then not eating enough food throughout the day. If you're feeling not energized, you're feeling really down, you're cold all the time, you're probably too low into a deficit. I feel as though a small calorie deficit or even just your maintenance calories, combining that with exercising, you're going to see results that you haven't seen in the past. Another thing that I want to get into is not to stress a bad day. Just because you had a bad day of eating doesn't mean that, oh, I'm not going to lose weight, I just set back so much of my progress. It's called living life, and you need to be able to adapt to your lifestyle and trying to lose weight. So when you're trying to lose weight, you're obviously going to be exercising more. So if you have a bad day, the next day, just get right back on it. Obviously, throughout my journey, I had several days where I would splurge, I'd binge. Obviously, that stuff happens. I can't say that it's going to help you, but it's definitely not going to hurt you. You didn't gain a bunch of weight in one day, and you're not going to lose all your weight in one day. I tell people this all the time, all my friends here, I tell them fitness is a marathon, it's not a mile. As long as you have a lifestyle change and you're changing your life most of the time, you're going to see results over time. The more that you have bad days, yeah, they might slow your progress, but they're not going to stop your progress. And that's the point that I try to get across to people. Another thing that I want to talk about is creating a diet plan that works for you. Now, I don't necessarily mean diet, like I said, because I don't really believe in the term diet. I feel as though people go on diets, they think, oh, I can only eat these certain foods. It ends up to people just cheating on their diet, and then they feel like they're doing something wrong. In reality, they're just living their life. When I say you want to create a diet plan, create foods that you know you enjoy, you know are low calorie, are going to satiate you and help you lose your weight and most likely taste good. Another massive thing that I see nowadays is everybody stresses about the weight on the scale. This is something that comes close to me because when I first started losing weight, I was really obsessed with that number dropping. When I first started, I was around 215 pounds, and right now I'm about a much better 172 than I was a couple months ago. I've been in the range of 170 to 175 for quite some time now. I found myself getting too obsessive over it. Actually, in turn, ended up me losing, I would say, a good chunk of my muscle. And that's why I stress also not to drop too hard into a caloric deficit, because you're just gonna end up doing more harm than good. I know that it seems nice now saying, oh, I'm losing, look at all the weight that I'm losing. I promise you, you're not gonna end up enjoying it in the long run. But another thing about scale weight, it's inaccurate a lot of the time. Everybody asks me like, oh, how much do you weigh now? How much do you weigh now? And I really don't have a good answer for them. I try to weigh myself every single day in the morning after I use the bathroom. It's normally around 170 to 175. Any day it scales from there. I'll hop on the scale and I'm like, I weigh a different number than I did yesterday, and that's literally why I don't care about the scale number. I simply care about the results that I'm seeing within my body and how I feel. Weight fluctuations can be caused by so many different things. The amount of food you ate right before you went to bed, the amount of water you drank. Overall, really don't worry about the scale weight, because I promise you that you're going to get way too obsessive over it, and it's going to get in your head, oh, why did I gain weight today? I did so good yesterday. I promise you it doesn't matter. You are doing great. Alright, I did say that I was going to keep this video short, so this is going to be the end of the video. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment what type of other content that you want. I'm going to be coming out with different types of videos where I'm going to be discussing different stuff that I've implemented into my life that has helped me overall in my fitness journey. Yeah. Later.